Hey, welcome back to Gypsy Jazz Bootcamp. Today's topic is the upper neighbor tone. This is All of Me Etude number 2 here. The first one was the lower neighbor tone, the chromatic device, where you take your triad shape that you happen to be visualizing and you go half step below. A refresher. Etc. All the way through the chord shapes for All of Me. Hopefully you've already have done that in exploring the whole fretboard with all those triad inversions that I was mentioning. Well, I'm going to continue on today with the upper neighbor tone, and it's kind of an upper. There's not just one rule. Hopefully you've checked out my triad embellishments, and it depends on the kind of chord that you're on, whether it's major, minor, or dominant. But you'll see from my selection on what I'm thinking, and we'll kind of dissect it a little bit. So let's start on the C triad here. This is the root on top. So we're going to do and again, please refer to my triad embellishments. You'll see all these concepts explored. The root on top we have 1, 2, 1, whole step, 5, 6, 5, 3, 4, 3. Notice that's the half step. That's where you want to be careful. And then back to the root. Okay. So the lick that I wrote out for my etude here is just this. Okay, just really simple. 2-note pattern, and be careful of the rhythm. You just want to make sure you get that syncopation. That's just to add some nice rhythmic phrasing. So for the E shape, I'm using this shape here, and we're going half step above. Same rhythmic phrasing, just to keep it consistent. But notice there's half step above on every note, and that gives us kind of this F-E flavor. Okay. Mainly, it's kind of bringing out the harmonic minor scale of A harmonic minor, which E is the 5 of A. So it's kind of the secondary dominant there. Really nice dark sound. It's also on my minor swing Gypsy Jazz Bootcamp etude there, if you want to check that out on what we're doing on the E7. This rhythmic phrases, by the way, is also on there too. The minor swing Gypsy Jazz Bootcamp etude. So the A7, to continue, I'm going to continue with that same darker flavor, half step above each one of those notes. Okay, but again, my lick is this. So far we have this on C, 3, 4, E, A. Okay, so here's a D minor chord. Okay, and I am choosing a whole step above each one of those notes, almost like I'm thinking E minor for each one of these. You might say, well, don't you want to flat the 6 here so it's darker? I want a minor 6 flavor. So this is where you can pick and choose some different notes. Meaning this, I want D minor 6. I don't want D minor with the flat 6. Not in this case, okay? So this is nice. It keeps it consistent, actually. So you get a whole step above, whole step above, whole step above, okay? And you can just, of course, review that minor swing etude. You'll see that in there. Now for the E7 that's coming up next, I'm thinking this E triad. And again, this is, to me, what's important is that we're kind of choosing our triads. And then I'm actually playing a different lick here. I'm going. Okay, I demonstrated that earlier. Here, it's kind of a nice little lick, and notice the a la Django fingering here, just a 1, 2. And I continue with that same motif, rhythmic motif, melodic as well, with the A minor. Okay. And then on the D7, right here, I'm choosing D major. And here, I'm not wanting that darker flavor, so I actually did the whole step above the 5th, a half step above the 3rd, and a whole step above the 1, the root. So it almost sounds like what I would do on just a major triad in general. Kind of like you're thinking E minor triad. You know, pretty inside. Versus this, which is from the harmonic minor scale. So, and then on the G triad, and I'm doing the same lick. Okay, and in this case, that was all that we had. It was just from one measure because I inserted this minor swing ending lick 1. Okay. Okay, good. So I'm just breaking this down for you. I'm trying to make this a fairly quick video as a demonstration. I'm going to go straight to the second ending. So here's that F major, and it's just one measure. So that was on the major. Then it goes to minor, so I'm going to flatten 3. So that was major, minor. So and then E minor, same idea. Okay, same motif there. And that was E minor to A7. Notice that you have an N on the 3rd of A. D minor, same lick. And that's the 3rd of G7. And then finally to C. 1. And then we're back to the top. And we could just loop this, or we could connect it to the other etude. Which I'm hoping, again, that you're working on that one before you do this one. I think that's a good place to start, just to make sure that you have those basic skeleton of, where you're going with all of these basic chord structure. No substitutions, just a triad approach. This is, again, the triad embellishments. Today is the upper neighbor tone. And again, that's an upper scale tone neighbor. It could be a half step, it could be a whole step in this case. So let's try this out again in time. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for etude number 3 coming up, where we're going to combine both of them, the upper and the lower neighbor, to get a really nice melodic pattern that I usually nickname the Mona Lisa. It sounds like this. Etc. So that's the next lesson here. And I'll still use the same triad formations so that you really are mastering this movement. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Have fun with this material. Please check out my Patreon website. 1, 2, 3, 4.